Hi everyone, this video is going to be the start of a new series for my Megaminx OLLs. It's going to be pretty similar to the PLO series. This is for OLL instead of PLO. A few things to note are that I'm not going to cover one edge OLLs because I don't know them and I don't really intend to learn them. I have a different idea for how to approach them, and I'll cover that in a video instead of actual Algs because I think it works well enough. Another thing is I'm gonna try to upload the videos more frequently. I think for the PLO series I used the once a week upload, and I don't think it was. I think it could be a bit faster than that. Probably like one every 3 or 4 days, or so basically like two a week instead of one a week. But I'm not too sure how often. I'm not too sure how that's gonna go. That's because I didn't really plan too much for this series so far, but the general idea of what I'm aiming for, so it'll finish in like 2 to 3 months instead of 4 or 5. Um, that's it for the introduction, and this specific video is for CPLL, no, not CPL, OCLL. So just all the cases where you have all 5 edges. They're like 16 in total, but a bunch of them transfer over from 3x3, so you're only really learning like 8 or 9 Alex. So with that being said, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the video. So for these first two, these are these are basically just also 3x3 OCLLs. Here is this the U case with the headlights, and here's the T case with the corners facing the opposite. I'll start with the T case first. You recognize it the same way, just opposite corners. And the alg I use for this is I use multiple algs, but the one I use the most ends up being this. And for this case, the U case, I use this alg. These two cases are the last two corner OCLs. So here you have two corners, sort of like I was pointing in the same direction, but not headlights or opposite. So this is commonly known as the L case on a regular 3x3, and this case is sort of like the same idea, but they're spread out a bit further apart. I call this one L plus, and I'll start with the L case first. The alg I mostly use for this is, and for L plus, the alg I use is. These are the first two 3-corner OCLLs. This is just the sune, and this is the back sune. It's the same alg from 3x3. One thing to note about this back sune is that you can't do an anti-sune alg. You specifically have to do a sune from the back right, because if you do the anti-sune alg, which is usually from this angle, you don't get a soft layer on the top. So you specifically want to do a sune from the back right, and the way you recognize these is just the same way. I guess here you have like the gray stickers on the left side, so one here, one here, one here, and then for the back sune case, they're on the right side. So I'll start with this case first. The alg for this one is the same thing, it goes like this. One thing different is that here you have to do a U2 prime, and you can't just do a U2 because those aren't the same thing on Mega, like they are on 3x3. And here the alg is. Here are the two anti-sune cases. The way you tell these apart is that if you put the soft corners in the front left and back right, here you have the stickers kind of pointing upwards, and here you have the stickers pointing downward. This isn't really the best method for telling them apart, but to be honest, if you practice your OCLLs, just like recognizing them and whatnot, you'll be able to just naturally tell which one's the left anti-sune and which one's the right anti-sune after a couple solves. So I don't really have a clear-cut method for telling the difference between these two. It just comes down to experience. But with that, I'll go on to the algs now. This is the left anti-sune case, and it goes like this. And this is the right anti-sune case, which goes like this. Here are the pi case OCLLs. The way you recognize these is if you put the block in the front left, then you have your opposite pair on the right and your headlights on the left. But for this case, you have your headlights on the left and opposite pair on the right. And I'll just start this case. It's the same alg. You just have to change some U2s into U2 primes and stuff. And it goes like this. And in this case, you put the block in the top and go and do this. Here are the two H cases for Megaminx. The way you tell the difference between these two is here, if you have the block in the front left, in this case you have the headlight pairs vertical, and in this case you have the headlight pairs horizontal. This one kind of looks a bit wider as well, I guess, in my mind. So that's another way I tell the difference. And for this case, this is just a double sune, which goes like this. And this is just a double anti-sune, which goes like this. Here are the last two 4-corner OCLLs. The way you recognize these is that for this case, you kind of have like the corners pointing away from the block, so it's like to the right. And in this case, you have the corners sort of pointing to the block, so to the left. And I'll start with this case. The alg for this case is 2-chen and goes like this. And this case is just sune U2 prime sune, which goes like this. These are the two 5-corner OCLL cases for Megaminx. The way you recognize these is that if you look closely, you'll see that they both have a pair of headlights and like a sune/back sune type corners. Here you have headlights, and then if you look from here, you have 1, 2, 3. These are sune corners. If for this case, if you have your headlights here, and then if you put them in top left, you get 1, 2, 3 back sune type corners. And I'll start with this case first. This is sune corners, and you put the headlights in the top left and do. Now this is back sune corners. You put the headlights in the top right and do.